Okay, here's my helmet strap done up. Here's the GoPro recording. It's my jacket done up. Today I have got a clear visor. Yesterday I went out in a tinted visor and I got caught in what looks there, I don't know if you see it in my right mirror, a dark cloud, and I got caught in an absolute belter of rain and couldn't see shit through a tinted visor. So today, clear visor, even if the sun's a bit glary. It was a bit leery. Come on, love. This roundabout looks greasy to fuck. As a matter of fact, the whole roads look greasy to fuck. So, what I want to talk about today is super sport bikes in winter and why they suck. Oh, maybe I'm being a bit unfair. Basically, I've had the Street Triple and I was having that through winter and it was absolutely fine through winter, no issues at all. I would want to go out and never not want to go out. But on this, when the weather's a bit off, you're a bit like, oh, can I be bothered today? It's not really the bike's fault. I mean, at the end of the day, these bikes are designed to go fast. But when winter comes, the rules change. And in winter, you can't go fast because the road conditions dictate it. I mean, at the end of the day, look at this road. I don't know if you can see it here. It's going from a little bit dry to not very dry at all, to wet, to greasy, to fucking shit. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just not fun going fast in winter. I mean, at the end of the day, you put on the gas and everything just spins and throttles up. Even like pulling off at the lights, I'll be belting off here, and now you just have to ease out. Everything just is a little bit more laboured. If you go fast, your wheel's going to start spinning up, skipping out, all of those things. If you start leaning over and the road conditions are too wet and too slippery, then you've got much more of a chance of low siding it. So the very thing that the bike was built for is its Achilles heel in winter. You think, oh, I haven't been out in a week, I need to go out. You put your kit on and you're like, oh, do I really want to? And I've never felt that before on naked bike, because you're in the upright position, you know, it doesn't matter about the amount of layers you got on to an extent. It's not really built to be leaning it all the time, so you know, you just take it easy really. But on here it's a lot harder to go easy because of the position, the bent over position that the bike, you know, is pushing you into, because of not wanting to lean, because of having to be a gear up and really gently roll on the accelerator. These things just make it just a little bit more stressful, and you just feel to yourself, I can't just jump on it and ride it, and you get a bit more anxious. So a bike specific problem with the S1000RR is that it is a litre bike, and myself and everybody that has reviewed this bike, everybody that owns this bike will tell you it is a absolutely fantastic machine. There is, you know, I would say no better bike than this out there. It is just so sublime. And the rider aids, we all say that they're brilliant and they make you ride better and, you know, push yourself a little bit faster. They save you in so many scenarios. But in winter, there's only so much they can do on a 207 brake horsepower litre bike. And you know, God love them, the aids try, they really do try their best, but at the end of the day, if you haven't got a full wet tyre on and you accelerate just a little bit more than you should, then you know, it does what a litre bike does. It's, you know, it's too much power for the traction, and you know, that's when the electronics really all start kicking in, and you know, you get all these ABS lights coming up, or anti-lean lights, whatever it is, basically orange flashy shit in front of you. The bike sort of jerks to a stop to say like, what the fuck are you doing? It's, you know, and it knocks your confidence. It's a bit stressful, and that then ruins, well, for me, it, you know, it just ruins the ride a bit. You know, you've gone out, especially if it happens at the start of the ride, and you're a bit like, oh, you know, maybe today wasn't the day to go out. So that's the first thing. I mean, at the end of the day, that's because it is a litre bike, and although the electronics are doing everything they can to fool you, I mean, Lamb Chop Rides did a review and I think he summed it up perfectly. The S1000RR is basically a super bike in sports tourer disguise. You know, everything about the bike is comfortable, heated grips, cruise control, for fuck's sake. You know, it's a lovely place to be for a super sport, but at the end of the day, it is 207 horsepower flying through your rear wheel when the road conditions are, as you see, shit. And that's even in rain mode, which is where you have to keep it pretty much all throughout winter. Fucking hell, that's a shitty road. So the next thing would be the riding position. I mean, obviously it's a super sport, so you know, you're bent over, you're pushed forward, it wants your elbows down by your knees, you know, in this position here. That's where it wants you, and that's great, but not when you've got all these layers on. And all of these layers mean that, you know, on a naked where you're upright, you know, you're sitting up and the bars are out here, you know, and your chest is exposed, that is okay, because you know, you're not feeling all those layers. But as soon as I leant forward there, I just felt my base layer, and you know, heated gear, I've done a video on it, that is, you know, a massive advantage. But I still haven't found a solution for thin, warm, textile waterproof bottom. So if anyone's got any tips, please put them in the comments for me, because I'd really like to explore a little bit more winter riding on this bike. But the kit is a problem. I mean, at the end of the day, you're leaning over, the layers are rubbing up against you. You move so much more on this there. You know, I'm still just engaging counter steer and trying to keep in a neutral position as much as possible, but you still move a lot more on this than you do on a naked or certainly a tourer. So the layers rub against you and they cause issues. They are a problem. And I went out in my full layered gear, my Nox armor, you know, expanded it all, base layer, t-shirt, jumper, mid layer, jacket over the top, and you know, you do feel like Michelin Man until you're on the bike and you ride. And like I say, you don't usually move too much, but on here I just felt, I didn't like it at all. It felt bad, it felt unsecure. I just didn't enjoy it in the slightest. And so basically the layers, or you know, lack of layers, is what you need to be riding a super sport. So in winter, layers are a problem, and of course layers are what you need to keep you warm. So that fights against it. There's a reason that, you know, adventure riders, you know, their bike's 4-season, it's designed for all weathers. And are you going straight? Yes, you are. And that's why if you want a 4-season outfit, you will find the only really option are adventure rider gear. And it will do everything. It will do off-road, on-road, warm weather, cold weather, and that's because those bikes do that. Whereas if you look at a super sport bike, everyone wears a race suit, and race suits are called second skins because they're so close fitting, so tight. And that is because on this bike, layers are the devil. Lack of restriction for movement is, you know, not what you want. So you have to be able to move, and that's why race suits are, you know, and usually as well, if you look at race suits, the majority of them are perforated because you want the airflow, because you get hot in the summer moving around and all the sweats. That's why you usually get perforated race suits. So just looking at the get-up you wear on these bikes gives you an indication of their seasonality. And at the end of the day, super sport bikes, you don't see many of them out on days like today. And that's because riding them and trying to stay warm is a bit of a challenge. Also related to the position, being leant over, being in that tuck position, it encourages you to lean. That's what super sport bikes are built for. They're the ones that have the 60+ degree lean angles. You don't get that on Harleys, on, you know, Tourers. It's the super sports that are doing all those leans, and the bikes are built to make you lean. And what do you not want to do on a day like today when it is wet and the roads are greasy? And that is lean. So again, everything that makes it great in summer and keeps you safe in summer is fighting against you in winter. And your instinct is to lean, is to move over, but you have to fight that instinct, and you have to try and stay upright and neutral. And again, it's an added stress. I wouldn't say it's, you know, it's the biggest thing in the world, but it is an added stress. You're having to ride so gingerly because at the end of the day you've got a weapon. And in these conditions that you're seeing here, you know, you thought like, the sun's out, I might be able to ride, you know, I don't know if you can see my visor here, it peppered, you know, it's just conditions not best suited for this bike, unfortunately. Yes, you can ride it. Look, I'm out here riding it, and I would rather ride this bike in these conditions than not ride at all. I have no idea where I am. Where am I? Let's assess this situation. No idea. Let's go left. Left seems good. Maybe left will take me somewhere adventurous, or just take me somewhere. Also, the last thing is you really want to go out and, you know, have fun. You want to lead, you want to, you know, roll on, you want to go into those corners, and, you know, you don't really want to do that so much on the upright bikes. I mean, of course you do at times, but not all the time. And on here, because of the position that you're in, you do. And so you're fighting not only the bike but yourself, because everything is saying to you, like down here it's like, oh, you know, come on, you know, you're doing 45 in a 60, you know, just stay on this side, you know, you got more of the road, you'll be able to go through and get there. No, look at the road, it's shit, you can't do it. And so then you're going, if the weather was better, and you're spending your time moaning rather than riding or thinking about the ride. At least I am at the moment. And that's why super sport bikes, unfortunately, in winter suck. But don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, it's not a reason to not buy this bike. You're not going to say, oh, I'm not going to buy an S1000 RR because I can't ride it in winter. You can ride it in winter, of course you can. You can ride it in any condition, and depending on your confidence level, depending on your fear level, you know, you may enjoy it more or not, but it still isn't, you know, built for these conditions. Upright adventure tourer bikes are what are built for cold weathers. Smaller, lighter bikes again would give you a better riding experience. A big ass 1000cc litre Super Sport is just a little bit more of a handful, and I think that's the point. Is at the end of the day, it's the bike is a bit of a handful because of the conditions, because of the weather, and that is why you don't want to ride it so much in this kind of weather, in these kind of conditions. Stay, that's it.